What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 11 of the Couchcasters podcast. This is Talkin SEC. Before we really start burning on football, I'm going to bring my buddy Nick in here, man. He's got something to share with you. What's up, Nick?
Couchcasters fam. This is your boy Nick from Podcast of the Wills and ATG Cast. Just jumping in to drop you a quick message about the Podathon. The Podathon is a day-long Star Wars charity podcast stream raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's going to be an amazing day. It's going to take place on Saturday, September 17th. It's going to start at 9 a.m. in the morning and roll until 9 o'clock that night. We have people like Ryan Johnson, Christopher Sean, Kristen Baver, Gary Whitta, Star Wars authors, Star Wars personalities, some more surprises yet to be announced. It's going to be an amazing day, all to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'd love for you to join us. I'd love for you to check it out. You can go to thepodathon.com, or as you can see right here on the screen, you can go to bit.ly/podathon. You can find links on how to donate. You can find where we're going to be, who the guests are, where to watch us on YouTube. And if you donate money to the Podathon, for every $5 you donate, you'll be entered into a bunch of cool raffles. We have gifts from Regal Robot, Lucasfilm, all the Star Wars major publishers, Denuo Novo, who does the helmets. There's some prizes that they've given us. Lots of great stuff. Another way to incentivize donating to Make-A-Wish. That's what it's all about. It's going to be an amazing day. So much fun. 12 plus hours of Star Wars goodness, all for a good cause. Hope to see you there, September 17th, 2022, thepodathon.com.
All right, man. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. So that's a pretty cool cause, thepodathon.com. Y'all go check that out. Anyway, so here we are. Week 1. Bama's in the books. They did exactly what they were supposed to do with an opponent like that, right? Steamroll them, 55 zip, like next, moving on. That's exactly
Gold
what
standard.
you'd expect.
Gold standard.
That's what you're supposed to do to a team like that, you know? So having watched the game a couple times, I don't know how many times if you guys watched the replay yet or not, but what did you guys think coming out of that game?
Well, I'll start it off. No, I didn't rewatch the whole game. I watched a couple of the highlights. I looked at the defense for for 10 minutes on that, and then 10 minutes on the offense. Things that I saw, I was at the game on Saturday. Things that I saw in person were Bryce. I think this year he's got a lot of different weapons to use at his disposal. Remains to be seen against higher competition. Obviously, what they can do. Running game look a lot better. Offensive line is still a big question mark. There are still some iffy situations, and I know Utah State was running some pretty straightforward, or not straightforward, some extravagant stunts on the D line right there. So I do know that. So you play a team like that once every 2-3 years, so not very common. But that's where I look for the biggest improvement this week to show me if they've improved from last year. Texas is, I would say, it ain't a big game as far as competitive wise. They're not very good, but they're not Utah State. They are better. People forget that they are still a Division I team, even though they haven't been good in about 10-15 years.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's going to be a test.
Defense is fine. Y'all are going to be, if y'all go to see a game in person this year, be ready for fireworks. They're good. That D line, I was seeing them stop the run. I haven't seen a defensive line do that since probably 2016 or 11. So
yeah,
get ready for that.
That was the game Saturday actually too. So yeah, a lot of the same things I noticed. I actually thought Tyler Steen looked really good though. We talked a little bit about him last time, but there's a couple plays where he was just blowing people up, really strong on the edge there.
He's the transfer from Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah.
That's key too. The blind side, like
left tackle.
I
I think he's the real deal for sure. Dalcourt looked better too. I don't know how much you guys focused on like individual players, but I thought he looked better at least.
Ask Jeff what he thought of Dalcourt last year. Jeff had some very
That was not
high
a strength.
Everyone.
That was not a strength of the line last year. The center position, they were
No, it was not.
okay.
I think he.
But part of that was because Dickerson was so good that nobody could have fulfilled that filled that shoe.
Right. True.
But having said that, that was a very weak point of the offensive line last year was the center position. But
for sure,
I thought the line had a little attitude to him. I thought they had a little.
They did. Yeah.
A little edge to him, a little bit. A little chippiness to him, which, in my opinion, to be a good offensive line, you got to have a little bit of edge to you. I mean, not dirty, but you just got to play with a little bit of edge to grind it out for a whole game in the trenches like that.
Especially in this league.
Oh man,
that's something we missed last year. And Saturday, obviously we talked about Utah State did what we needed to do, but it's good to see that a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought Kobe Prentice looked really good too. True freshman.
Man, he dead-legged about 4 good dead legs in that game that spun people around. I was like, man, oh man.
He's quick. I love him. I think he's going to be a crucial part of our offense this year.
Oh gosh, I mean, it will, and he was so decisive. He would catch it and already knew what he was going to do. He didn't catch the ball and look kind of lost. Like, what am I supposed to do now? I mean, he already knew. All right, I'm gonna dead him here and cut back inside and then cut, whatever. And almost like he just already knew what he was going to do. So there was no hesitation. As soon as he caught it, he was and cut and go.
None. Yeah, I think that's why he probably
the rideouts.
Look at that wide receiver room. He came in. He was the third or fourth lowest receiver in this class.
Yeah.
He just took over. But
a freshman.
Those are the really two players I kind of noticed were Steen and Prentice on offense and on defense.
Yes. Agreed.
Nothing you can really say. We just shut them down. So
I was also very impressed with Holden. I thought Holden looked very quick. He was running very clean routes. Came back to the ball, made a really good catch when Bryce was scrambling on that play where Bryce juked and ducked and juked and stuck, spun out and then whipped it over the middle, crossbody. Holden went up there and snatched it, took a hit, and a couple guys hit him, and I thought Holden played great. I was very impressed with him.
He did look
Agreed.
Like he looked quicker to me than he did last year. I don't know if it's just me, but he looked quicker with feet, a little more speed. I mean, he looked different than last year, almost like he had another year in the program.
Well,
what do y'all think about Jameer?
I'll know after this week.
Yeah, I mean, he broke that one insane run, but
that was pretty.
Status quo outside of that, I thought, but
he didn't house it, but that was a pretty run. I mean, when he hit that cut and was gone.
Mm-hmm. He's quick.
I was impressed. Yeah, I was very impressed with that.
Yeah. I'm looking down there at that stat down there. Was that 9 carries for 93 last week against Utah State?
I think. So, how long was that run? You guys remember?
58.
59.
So before that, he had 8 for 30 something.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Oh.
But I think that's going to be how it goes with him. He's going to dink and dunk you a little bit, and then he's going to hit one.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, I thought Bryce was a little amped up on a couple of throws that he airmailed. He had whoever he had down the sideline that time, and he overthrew him. I was like, oh gosh, we got so spoiled with Tua and Mac hitting those throws with their eyes closed, and then it's rare that we see somebody overthrow on a deep ball like that. But it is what it is.
Mac used to lay some dollar dimes in there too.
Man, Mac threw the prettiest ball I ever seen. I don't know, Tua's ball was pretty too, but man, Big Mac, I don't know what it was about him. He just thing it fell out of the sky.
It's got a body like me too. I'm jealous. I could learn to throw a football.
You guys remember Mac Jones when he was like playing mop-up duty and he was like 110 pounds?
Yeah.
And you're like, good Lord, where'd they find this guy?
Well, LSU. They played in LSU in 18, I guess. And Tua sat out for like 2 plays. Mac Jones came in, and he looked so rattled. And we were up like 27-0. I was like, oh, God, hopefully this guy never actually has to play. But
I'm with you. I was like, I hope we got plans for quarterback because it ain't going to be this kid.
I mean, They brought him in for 2 handoffs, and he couldn't handle it. But
yeah.
I bet Saban was saying the same thing.
I just
Please,
remember, like,
God,
we're so screwed. And then, like, 3 years later, he leads the greatest offense in the history of Alabama.
Team for Alabama football.
Yeah. Jeez. So, Murph, are you down in Florida, you said? I lost him.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
It's the fucking beginning of the dynasty, no?
Yeah, that's it. The beginning of the dynasty.
So I'm hanging up now.
Yeah. So, okay, I gotta burn on this LSU game for a minute. So, thoughts on this game? First off, Norvell should be fired either way. Even though they won, he should be fired anyway. And if they lost, he should be fired still. So either way, Norvell's a dead man walking. Because it's prime time is going to be the coach at Florida State at some point in the next 2 years. Am I crazy?
A bump in the road.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. He's just cutting his teeth at Jackson State, and then he's going to go home to Tallahassee and resurrect the Noles.
They
right?
call me Coach Prime now. Call me Coach Prime.
He's going to bring back that "Must Be the Money" video. So anyway, first off, the Florida State coach is a moron. For the play calling after LSU muffed the punt. I mean, if that's not the easiest play calling situation in your life, when you just take 3 knees, burn all their timeouts, and kick a field goal and go up 10, right? So they run a toss sweep on the goal line. And guess what happened? Oh! Right? So, first off, fired right then. He should have been fired right then. Okay? And then LSU, and then so Florida State goes into their like prevent style, whatever, and LSU goes right down the field, 99 yards in a minute. Scores a touchdown, 1 second left. Doesn't go for the win. Can you believe that? Like, Florida State was cooked, right? They were cooked. Like, LSU just went down the field on them, 100 yards in a minute, scored. That quarterback was running all over him. Couldn't throw worth a dang, but he could run. I thought that was the easiest. I thought that was the easiest go for two call right there. Like, that's what I thought. That was the easiest choice. Go for the win. They're reeling. They're cooked. They don't know what hit them. They're gassed. They're all hands on their hips. You immediately just run up there, snap it, and he runs it in, left or right, and they win the game. But, of course, they kick the kick, and it gets blocked. Kicking's a sham anyway. Shouldn't even be in football. Punting should, not field goal kicking. But, anyway, that's another show. But, anyway, so I thought Kelly chickened out of winning a big game. And then Norvell, or whatever his name is the biggest moron I've ever seen. And then in the post game, he was like, "We didn't end the game like we wanted, yada yada yada." And I was like, "Really? You think?" I mean, what an idiot. So anyway, now Florida State's 2-0, and they're doing backflips in Tallahassee, but they should be looking for a coach right now.
I'm with you.
That was that game.
Brutal game to watch. Both are really bad.
Oh, you are.
I looked over to my buddy after, and I was like, none of them are good. Like
neither team.
LSU might suck this year, and I was like, I think both suck. I mean, that was brutal.
Ay.
And it was the second field goal that got blocked that game. They had one earlier that got blocked. So
They muffed two punts. Didn't they muff a punt earlier? That same guy fumble a punt earlier in the game?
Yep. And Booty or whatever the receiver's name dropped 2 or 3 passes. I mean, they were just all over the place. And that quarterback is brutal.
I can't believe they got rid of Miles Brennan for that guy.
Miles got his money now, though.
I mean, he was throwing knuckleballs, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, he is awful. I mean, they were easy throws, and he would just spike them right into the ground. And oh man, a guy I work with named Mike's a huge LSU fan, so I was texting him throughout the game, and he was hot. Man, he was not pleased. And then I went and saw him at work like Tuesday morning when I got to work. I went in there and I was like, "Why didn't you guys go for the win? Why didn't you go for the win? How could you not go for the win right there?" And he was like, "I don't blame him, man. You can't blame him for wanting to get it to overtime." I was like, "Screw that. Win the game. Go for the win. If they stop you, tip your hat. At least you were going for the win. But you lost going for the tie or going for overtime." God. Oh, man. Anyway. Whatever. I don't care about either team, but still.
Who can beat Clemson this season? Oh, so not working.
Clemson. There we go. I think if you sit like this, they work.
Going this the whole time.
The whole show, if you sit like this.
I'm reporting from Tallahassee, Jeff.
The winds are crazy out here. You should really button it.
The fans are losing their goddamn mind over here in Tally.
Bring it home the natty, baby. 2-0. They ain't been 2-0 in a decade. I mean, when was the last time Florida State was 2-0? Like
2013.
It might be
9 years ago.
Yeah, honestly, it might be.
They got fucking banners of 2013 national champions.
That's right. Jimbo, baby. That's another one. Auburn was up big in that game, and they fumbled that away. Like that's. Well, other than that, I mean, I didn't watch many other SEC games. I didn't think there was many other close ones. Arkansas was only won by 7. Mississippi State crushed Memphis. Of course, LSU lost to Florida State. Would you believe I picked Oregon in the Pick'em contest, trying to get an upset, sneak an upset in week 1, and yeah.
I don't think that game ended well for anyone.
Only well for Georgia.
I was the only one in the whole thing. And then I was like, what was I thinking? Oregon has Bo Nix. Of course they're going to get slaughtered. Of course. Like, what the heck was I thinking?
Hey, it's okay. They'll run the table in the Pac-12. Watch it.
Yeah.
Has everybody left the Pac-12 yet? Isn't it like the Pac-6 now?
Pac-8.
Well,
Pac-4.
Yeah, Pac-8. That conference is gone in a couple years, I'm sure.
Yeah. They're all going to be in the SEC.
Yes.
It'll just be the NFL South. They'll just line it up, divisions, just like the NFL. They'll basically just carbon copy the NFL. 4 divisions. They'll just have their own league, playoffs, all that stuff. They'll just have their own league. Are you guys playing fantasy this year? Are you guys playing fantasy football this year?
Yes, I am in 4 leagues.
4, well done.
Well, a couple of them were guilt, and then I do Parker's every year, and then I do another one every year. So the other 2 were kind of like, hey, like, join my league, please. I was like, okay.
All right. Yeah. Last time I did 4, I about lost my mind that year, so I couldn't do that anymore. I had to trim it down.
Yeah, we're going to see how it goes.
I'm only do 2 now. One of them is free, and one of them is a pay league.
Gotcha.
Which I've only won once in 12 years.
Gotta get those numbers up.
First year, and then last year we did. This is the 3rd year. Is that right? Yeah.
Are you in any,
So-
Murph?
He's in our league.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, he's.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys read lips?
Yes, I am in a league.
It's like it picks up after like a second. There's like a
These
second
winds
delay.
are still crazy down here, Jeff. I'm sorry to hear that. Whoa. Did you hear that? What was that? Some robot
I have no idea what that
has
was.
just hacked the
Hang on.
podcast. Sounds like inner soul robot. Good gosh.
How about now?
Man,
Is
my
that
dog's
better?
freaking out. Yeah. Oh, Josh Allen leading the Bills down the field. He is my quarterback in one of my leagues. So let's see if they start off.
MVP.
I think they're
Yeah, I need him to have a big year.
Need to throw for another 4,500.
Ride him to the chip. So
Aren't they the favorite?
no, these guys should be the favorite right here.
They should be. They won't be.
The
People are-
Mitch Trubisky-led Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was gonna say, all he's got to do is be average. That defense will take us forward.
Be average, Mitch. That's it.
I saw someone say that it was a hot take that Kenny Pickett will be starting by Game 7.
It depends.
Yeah. Depends
If
how
Mitch
bad
is
Mitch
terrible, yes. But if they're winning, let's see, the Steelers are 4-2 heading into Week 7. They're not going to start Pickett. If we're 1-5, yes. If we're 1-4, they'll go to Pickett, I think. But I don't think we're going to be 1-4.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we're going to be 1-4 at all.
This
At all.
weekend's tough, but I think we can win the next 3.
Yeah, it's tough road games for both my teams. I mean, one in Texas and one in Cincinnati. I don't think that Texas game is going to be close, honestly. I think it might be for a half, maybe a quarter. But, I mean, Texas looked good last week in that wash of a game. But, I mean, I think Bama's going to slaughter them. I just
I
think
do too.
I just think they're just they can't match up yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, but I just don't think Texas can match guns with Bryce and that group of players.
Now, I will say they got a good running back, Bijan.
That Bijan Robinson.
He's very good. But, it takes more than one player to beat Bama. We know that.
I mean, do y'all see Jaheim Otis, man? The big fella. I mean, he was
Freshman.
beating up 3-4 offensive linemen.
Oh yeah, he was like 30.
I mean, like, if my dude does that every week, those linebackers are just going to be running all day, just running free all night.
He's a boss. He lost a ton of weight too. He was like 380.
Yeah, like
Like
80
3
pounds.
I mean, he'll be nice.
He's a beast.
Just eats blood.
Touchdown.
He's a straight beast.
Who scored?
The Bills.
Bills? Yes, let's go.
Going
How
back
was the
to
atmosphere, Parker? How was the stadium?
It surprised me. Even for I think Scott can also attest to this since he was there. There's more people at the game than I anticipated.
Was it a sellout?
It was not a sellout. It was. I would say there's probably about 80,000 that went up. And for those of you who don't know, Brian Denny holds about 100,000. So we'll call it 75 to 80,000 that were at the game.
Yeah, probably around there. It stayed pretty full too, even in the second
Agreed.
half. So play more openers at
That's
home, please.
That's impressive that it stayed full because it was what was the halftime score?
41 to
zip or
nothing.
40 something.
Yeah. It was 41. Yeah, I think it was 41.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they
I
do
mean that
now
was a
sell
bloodbath at halftime. What was that, Murph?
They do now sell alcohol. I was seeing like
That
snaps.
they do.
Okay.
That they
In
do.
my section, I was sitting in the zone with the suits, so
Yeah.
I got to bring my own alcohol in.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, beat the
Oh,
well
stadium
played.
prices.
They were doing a limit 2 per person. It was the ones like this, 16 ounces. About $8 a pop for those
Yeah.
bad boys, just like you would pay at an NFL game.
Nice.
So how much at Galette's?
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, just go. I mean, it was interesting to see, but also I think I talked to Jeff a little bit about it at work. It's just a different feeling, considering that's not what we grew up with, you know. It is a little bit different feeling. It really does feel like a change of times, which it is. But we'll see how it goes. I don't think anyone was any more or any less belligerent. You always have the people that are acting outrageous, but it was fine. I didn't see anybody get beat up or anything like that.
Be very
Scott
curious
just got
to know.
mauled. Fonzie got mauled.
Sorry, my cat had to put her asshole in my face real quick.
Yeah, my cat does that too. Oh, you're bored?
Really?
All right, here you go.
Yeah, here we go.
Here's looking at you,
Right
kid. All right, thanks,
old
cat.
stink
Appreciate
eye.
that. Yeah.
One-eyed monster.
I'm gonna do that to the cat. See how he likes it.
I thought
That's a sight.
I thought the atmosphere was pretty good, though. Honestly, I thought the energy
Yeah.
was really good, Parker. I don't know. Did you sit like down in like the lower bowl?
I did. I was on the west side of the stadium, behind Bama, about 30-yard line, I'd say. It was very good. It was the sound. I know it's been talked on probably social media a little bit that the music choice wasn't the best. Now, agree to disagree. They needed to change it up because got to keep it fresh, got to keep people entertained and energetic instead of the same old stuff for 25 years. I mean, things have got to change. Got to people, as I said, got to keep people entertained. Got to, look intriguing to the prospects that are in commitment. It's got to do what you got to do.
Stop the band from playing that same crap they've been playing for 25 years.
Well, they ain't going to Texas. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah.
saw that stuff.
Good.
Petty shit.
Good.
He says
Screw
good.
Texas, and who cares? One less band is better.
Oh boy.
Can we do the same thing at Bryant Denny and make them sit like way in the upper deck so they won't come to those games too?
Nosebleed for sure. They get the northern end zone. They don't get the. Oh, we could put them up in the southern end zone and let them be next to the the freshman students. That'd be a good one.
Gosh. Yeah. I've never been to Texas Stadium. Has anybody ever been to Texas before?
I haven't known.
I was trying to get. Let me take this back. Had tickets a year ago, prior to all this, coming about, and then brother's wife got pregnant, and there's your story right there. So he couldn't go. So I was like, well, I'm not going out there all alone. And it was still in COVID as well, too. It was still crazy in the world if it's not already still crazy. But yeah, no, I've always wanted to go out there. I've heard it's really fun.
Looks like a
My
good
buddy
time.
lives in Austin. I don't know if he's going to the game though. That's probably a hard ticket to get. That's the biggest game in Texas in I don't know how long.
Years, because they don't play. They don't play the Red River rivalry.
Don't they play that in the Cotton Bowl? Don't they play Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl every year?
That's what I thought. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
they
I
don't
mean, the
really
last
get-
big game like that in Austin, I couldn't tell you.
Well, start buying tickets for next year. They come to T-Town.
So I mean, it's like I mean, this is just another game for for the Tide, but this is the biggest game in years in Texas. So I think the atmosphere is going to be pretty intense. I don't think we're just going to come walking out and go up 24-zip in the fourth quarter.
No.
I don't think it's going to be like that. But I do think by the time the game's over, it's going to be like 41-17, something like that. 38-21 maybe, something like that. If they get 21, I'll be shocked they get 21.
Well, that's my thing. I think their best shot is to get in a shootout, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a great running back. Their quarterback is supposedly very good. I mean, hasn't really been
Well,
on
they
a
got
big stage yet.
The mullet kid?
Quinn
Ewers,
Ewers.
or
Yeah.
whatever his name is?
Quinn Ewers.
Big Mully.
Yeah.
Ohio State transfer.
Yeah, he graduated like his junior year so he could sign an NIL deal. Because he couldn't sign it as a high school student, so he just reclassified a year early and went to Ohio State where he should have been a senior in high school.
It's crazy.
And then transferred to Texas. Got him a little cheese, and then slid down to Austin.
East out.
I mean, I guess he did it right. I guess that's the right move.
I mean,
That cheddar, son. Bryce getting that cheddar too.
I heard he's the third highest paid right now, and I was like, how is he the third? Who's getting paid more?
Dude, can you imagine Tua had been in around NIL was around when Tua was
He's
here?
making like 5.
Man, Tua would have racked up.
What about Trevor Lawrence? He'd have made money. Deshaun would have made money.
Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. Sunshine.
I wonder if he'll ever cut his hair. You ever think he will? Or is it too trademark?
I don't know. It adds to his douchebaggery, so I don't kind of want him to keep it.
Say it's his brand now.
It adds to his
His
douche.
flowing locks.
Ridiculous.
Looks like a loser playing with the Jaguars.
That's like the running joke. I feel bad to be a Jags fan. I'm sorry. Feel bad. It's like being an Auburn fan, except worse.
Oh!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shot fired.
Just kidding. No, it's
Although
not
Auburn looked
being
pretty
an
good
Auburn.
against Mercer. I mean, it is Mercer, so Auburn did what they were supposed to do as well. I mean, they should have blown them out, and they did. So,
Head coach will be fired by game 8.
I mean, he's definitely fired. I mean, everybody knows that. But
Game 8.
they,
You wear our boat, no fire him.
he's a dead man walking. I mean, his deadest man walking I've ever seen.
I talked with an Auburn fan recently and asked him. It was like I heard a couple of the coaching rumors and everything, and I asked him. I was like, one of the names when I think I talked about it with you, Jeff, though, is Hugh Freeze coming out there, and they were like, I don't want him. I was like, yeah, it comes with a little bit of baggage. I get what happened, but y'all need to win. He wins.
I wanted Saban to hire him as an OC a couple years ago.
Hey, he'd gone through the Nick Saban coaching clinic, and
I think Sankey blocked that.
Well, that was a pretty bad situation, though. I mean,
Well,
cheating.
they're going to call somebody, but it ain't going to be this dude that from the AD they got rid of.
Al Green, those things.
I mean, unless he beats Alabama in Tuscaloosa this year, if history repeats itself, the games in Tuscaloosa usually aren't very close.
No.
The ones in Auburn are some of the wildest games you've ever seen.
Fucking voodoo magic shit.
Man, it's insanity. But
It doesn't matter.
the last outside of the Cam year, usually those Tuscaloosa games aren't very competitive.
Yeah, after the Cam year.
I'm not saying it can't be. I'm just saying if history repeats itself, we should handle business that day. But that's 3 months away. But still,
So close, but yet so far.
I don't think they're going to have any problem with Texas. Sark's one of the best play callers I've ever seen, but I don't think Texas has the bullets yet.
Nor the defense.
Their defense.
Yeah, they don't have the defense. I mean, we got 4 running backs they'll hit you with at any moment. Fresh legs at any moment. The receivers, in my opinion, look like a real cohesive unit. The new blood, it's like completely different than last year. Outside JMO and Metch, that was it. Slade here and there, but
so they're at Slade Bolden.
I actually I liked our pace Saturday. But our offense was kind of a little more like not as many like one hitters and you know chances downfield or anything.
Balance.
Part of that's probably the opponent, but I just thought we looked really smooth and I liked it honestly.
Yeah.
If we can come out and have a 6-minute drive, first drive of the game, like
I like the play calling. I like the mixed the play calling up good, I thought. And that's been my biggest complaint with O'Brien is his lack of commitment to the running game. But we ended up with, I think, 28 or 29 carries?
Oh, yeah. We spread
so it was almost 50-50 in the end. But I liked the way some of those guys ran. Jace looked really good coming off knee injury. He was
strong.
quick. He hurdled that guy on that one play. I thought that was pretty cool. So, but I really am impressed with the receivers, man. Like I really liked how Prentice ran. Holden, I thought, was the biggest standout to me as far as just snatching the ball out of the air, making catches, looking like the number one. Like he looked to me like WR1. Like he knew the job, knew it was his, and then that's who Bryce was looking for because we got nothing out of the tight ends, like zilch. I mean, they didn't even block, much less catch a ball. They didn't even block. 45, I thought was awful, but there was way too many times Bryce was having to run for his life that I was comfortable with. But, like you said, stunts, wacky stunts kind of can do that sometimes, but that's still not encouraging because then everybody else sees the film and adapts, and we got to learn how to block stunts.
Right.
I thought he was pressured a lot more than I was comfortable with.
Question.
And he got hit several times.
Didn't we also get another transfer from Louisville? Was that Tyler Harrell kid?
Yeah, I don't think he played, did he?
No, he's been
dinged.
He's been hurt. He got hurt in camp, and he's kind of been nursing himself back, it sounds like. So last time I saw, just some writer was like, week 3. But I doubt anyone knows. I'm sure we'll see him at some point.
Yeah.
They
may not need him, honestly.
We picked him up, but it'd be good to have, because you know how things can happen. We lost so many things last year. It's good to have the ammunition, as you said. And the next guy up who's experienced.
We're definitely going to need him. At some point, but maybe not this early in the season while everybody's still relatively healthy and getting him, nursing him back to his 100%. But he's supposed to be a good player, legit player. I'm ready for something out of tight ends. I just was very disappointed in the tight ends, which I'm nitpicking now, but I was hoping to get a little more from the tight ends. But it was just one game. A lot of new faces in a lot of different places, and that the depth chart, so to speak. Saban let his feelings known about the depth chart. I don't know if you guys saw that press conference where might be the end of depth charts for the next several
Did Kim
years.
Latu play?
No, he's still hurt.
He was in street clothes.
Okay,
That's one of the big things there, Jeff. Is our starter's out. He's hurt right now.
Yeah, we missed him. We missed him bad. Well, we didn't miss him, but like the tight end production took a major dip with him out of the game. That may change going forward. Maybe week 1 was 45's game to get most of the reps, and then who knows what the plan is for this game, or maybe he just looked the best out of all those guys. You never know. But I was not impressed with 45.
Yeah, I didn't
in
really
any-
notice him
in
at
any
all.
phase.
So. He was like a full
just several replays I noticed he missed. He missed a couple blocks and just was kind of a non-factor.
Yeah.
And you don't want to.
He didn't get any penalties on him, so that's a win.
Brownie points there, but yeah, it'd be nice to have. Latu last year was good for us in the red zone and stuff. So just having a short yardage guy, possession receiver.
I don't know what his injury is. Anybody know what his injury is?
I have no idea.
I thought it was a foot, if I'm not mistaken.
Foot? Oh, man. Those are always tricky. When you start talking about foot injuries.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second.
I did, but the line did well in some facets too. I did like the way Steen played out there. Randolph, was playing guard, started at guard, with Dalcourt and Latham. Who played the other guard? Latham played right tackle. Who started at other guard?
Was it? You said the other guard.
Was it Cohen?
Left guard or right? You said who played right guard?
I think who did Cohen start, or because
It was
55
Randolph.
didn't start. 55 didn't start.
Or was it Booker? Because I'm looking at the
I know.
quote-unquote depth chart.
55 didn't start though, because Randolph started in his spot, but then 55 played, and then somebody asked Saban about it in the press conference, and he went berserk. So it may have just been a situation of these are the guys that we're going to run out there, not because they're starters, but these we're going to run this group, and then we're going to interchange throughout the game and see. Outside of obviously left tackle, which is, locked down. I thought Latham played pretty well too.
Yeah.
Good news, everybody. Cameron Latu will be playing this weekend against Texas.
Oh, really?
He is good to go.
Oh, that's good.
He will be back. So, yes, to answer your question, you will get to see if we've got an improvement, which I think obviously we will, because he played last year, did really well for us. So, I think we'll be okay. We'll see. Another weapon. Why not?
He's definitely the best of the tight ends, that's for sure.
Just give me somebody who can block and catch. That's all I need.
Latu looked, good last year, except when people would hawk him down from behind, and then I'd get nervous that the strip was coming, or the punch out, but usually the strip, because he'd be huffing down the field, and he'd be running out of gas, and they just catch up to him, and it always made me nervous. But he made some big plays.
And to think he started out as a defensive end for us.
I know, right? That's hysterical.
6'5", 236, and he's probably...
Did anybody think Bryce was going to score on that scramble when he went into his Usain Bolt jog?
Yeah.
Was I like,
Really
did he
did.
wax him so bad that he could just jog in the last 20 yards?
Honestly.
He's got some now, total speed. He's not the fastest quarterback that I've seen Alabama run with. Obviously, I think Tua and Jalen were faster when it comes to it, but he's athletic and uncanny with his movement and quickness and elusive. He could jump up and he could stay in the air for a second. You think he's going one way, then he changes the direction. So
Man, he dipped on that run, and then he went into his trot, and I was like, "Oh man, he's going to moonwalk into this thing." And then I thought if he would have cut outside and kept, he would have scored. But he cut inside and did a little jump stop thing, and then got tackled. But I from the replay other angle, it looked like if he would have cut outside, that he had a shot at scoring.
Yeah.
we
So
put up
we
100
just
yards
scored, like,
rushing,
on the-
didn't he?
I think we just scored on the next play instead, or something like that.
Didn't he rush for 100 yards?
With it.
Yeah, right at even 100.
100 yards.
I don't think he broke 100 all last year rushing.
No, for the season he had 80
But yeah,
for the whole
yeah.
season.
You
So-
couldn't get him out of. He wouldn't run the first 10 games of the year.
I think it was a safety
Super
thing
reserve,
because
yeah.
That's it. They refused to run.
do not run
Yeah.
the ball.
And then
He's like, I'm not getting blown up for you, for anybody. Y'all lost your mind.
Exactly. I was just gonna say,
Also,
I gotta
because
do
our
something.
backup was that bad.
Yeah.
Now he got about $3.5 million in his account. And he's like, all right, well, I'll run a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little more comfortable now.
Yeah. Now I got a little foundation, before I get lottery pick money next year. Yeah, I was wanting to throw one more pass to get 200 yards because I hate that 195. The way that looks
Might
in
as
the
well
stat
call it
sheet.
200. Everybody wants to look at the stats and like, he only passed for 195. I was like, yeah, he rushed for another 100 and threw 5 touchdowns. He didn't
probably
need to stay in
left.
the game.
He probably left 75 yards on the field with his overthrows, with his missed throws. He probably left about 75 yards on the field. So
Probably.
I mean,
I
he
think
made those 5 touchdowns.
I think he'll rein
look
that
like-
in.
Yeah. And
That
also,
one he missed down the sideline, I was like, oh, gosh, so close. So close. So
I'd
close.
say he breaks 55 passing touchdowns this year. And he also, if he can stay on it, if he passes for at least 2 to 3 touchdowns per game, I think he'll have a chance. Well, no, he's got to pass more. I say 2 to 3 touchdowns a game to break Joe Burrow's former record. It's like 59 or 60.
I think, what was Burrow, 60?
60. And, I mean, I think he could definitely
Say
do
that out loud. Hang on. Say that out loud.
60. 60.
The dude threw 60 touchdowns in a college football season. 60. Even Texas Tech is like, man, that's a lot. You remember all those Texas Tech quarterbacks every year would throw for like 55 or 58 touchdowns because that's all they did was throw.
If that tells anyone who is listening out there, that's how good that offense was in 19.
But
Jamar Chase.
He threw 60 and they were balanced. They had a first round running back. And he still threw 60 touchdowns. That's insanity. You can't even say that out loud without saying, whatever, dude, it's made up. Even though you saw it with your own eyes. And we still should have won that game.
I remember, what is it? Greg, was it McElroy? I think when we had him start a quarterback, I think the most he passed for when he started, I think he had like 15 touchdowns in a single season, or maybe 20.
He had
maybe.
the record for a while, like 20, I think, was the single season record for a while. He had like 20 that one year.
Then Jalen and then Tua and then Mac, all of them blew it out of the water. By 25 more, if I'm not mistaken, or something along
Man,
those
Tua
lines.
just set the bar, and Max said, oh, for real? And he said it, and Bryce said, watch this. And then he went ahead of that one.
Oh, I want to see.
All right, Milrow, you got to throw for 50.
Baby.
How'd you guys like him Saturday?
I like him a lot.
You mean the future starting running back? I thought he looked great.
No, he's
I was
quick, he's strong.
Yeah, he's going to be fun to watch if he's the guy. There's a couple times I was like, shit. Like, I don't know about him.
Well, hey, the interception, okay?
It's horrible.
It was bad. You normally don't see an underthrow like that, which now I would prefer him just to overthrow it every single time than underthrow it in a double coverage. But, I mean, he had him beat. He did. And I was like, you overthrow him by 2 yards, you've got it. But he's got an arm. He can run.
Just don't leave it short. Never leave it short.
Never ever.
It's like golf, man. The putt will never go in if you leave it short. But if you launch it, you may not catch it, but it ain't going to get picked off by the safety cutting across.
Let's see.
I don't know. I get it. He's probably trying to make noise, but
Yeah.
So Joe Burrow, his record still stands at 60 touchdowns in a single season.
That's not
The
coming
guy
out.
below him is R.I.P. Colt Brennan, who played at Hawaii back in the
58.
2000s. 58. That one stood for that long, almost 10 years. So,
I think
yeah,
Timmy
that
Chang
guy
from
used to
Hawaii was
sling
before
it.
that.
Who was it?
Timmy Chang from Hawaii, I think, was
Timmy
before
Chang.
that. But some of the Graham Harrell or Mahomes or Kingsbury, some of those Texas Tech quarterbacks are up there.
See, and on this one, it says that the Western Kentucky from last year beat Joe Burrow's record. He had 62.
Throwing
62.
or total?
Let's see.
Wouldn't surprise me if it was total.
No, he did throw 62 passing touchdowns last year.
It says regular season is Mac Jones, 2020, 41.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess Western Kentucky's quarterback broke that record last year with 62.
No, I'm sorry. No, he's number 41 in the total
Well,
list
that's-
all time.
I did not know that until now, so that's how impressive that was.
It was his only year as a starter.
What happened to him? Is he an insurance salesman now?
Harder.
He is on the Patriots.
Yeah.
What was his name?
He's like 5'10", I think they said. Bailey Zappi. He's like, it has him
Ooh.
listed as 6'1", but apparently he's like small. But he just
Frank Zappa, you said?
Bailey Zappi.
Exactly.
Zappy. Wow. The all-time leading touchdown passer has a last name is Zappy.
Went to Western Kentucky. That's a great trivia question.
Mark that one down.
Man, the Bills just fumbled again. They fumbled twice now in the first quarter.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody scored yet.
Well, it's
Who
the second
fumbled
quarter.
it
Sorry.
like twice?
Yeah.
Was it did what's his face did
James Cook just fumbled it just now. And then I can't remember who fumbled it earlier. but
Allen?
Somebody.
Did Allen fumble it or anything like that? Did he that fumble? Good.
No. No, Allen's dealing.
Park, you got the
But
quarterback.
what's his name?
Right?
Cook from Georgia. Dalvin Cook's
I
little
do.
brother. He just coughed it up. And then the receiver fumbled it earlier, too. So, whatever.
Hey, it's okay. The Cook brothers, not reliable.
What's the line on the
We just picked it
Bama
off.
game? 19?
Yeah, 19.
That's easy.
Yep.
I think they'll get that easy.
I saw it went up to
I
20.
say Alabama beats Texas by over under 25.5.
Over.
I'd say over. I'd say we beat them by
Way
28. 28. 28 is a safe number.
All right, so who got coming up in week 2 here?
Pitt,
ULM?
Tennessee.
Pitt, Tennessee. That's going to be a good game.
That's
Is that
what
that's
I'm
at
talking
Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I actually picked Tennessee to win that game.
Pitt beat them in Neyland last year. Should be interesting. Pitt's
Kenny
defense
Two
did
Gloves,
not-
baby. You can't mess with Kenny Two Gloves, Scott. Can't mess with Kenny Two
Tear you
Gloves last year.
Tear you up. Hometown boy.
Tear you up, baby. What's his name? They got a good quarterback this year, too. Pitt does. I can't remember his name.
Slovis.
Slovis, that's it.
He's a transfer from USC.
USC.
Yes, that's right. I knew I remembered that name somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah,
he got
looked all
game.
right. He looked all right last week. But it's going to be a shootout, I think. Tennessee can score.
Yeah.
Kentucky
And-
plays
Florida.
yeah, Tennessee looked pretty good, hanging 50-something on on Ball State.
Ball State.
Got at Pitt. What are the big games? South Carolina at Arkansas. That'll be a good game.
That's the one I'm interested in.
Okay, again. Florida, Kentucky.
Man, y'all, Arkansas is going to make some noise. I mean, I don't know that they can,
KJ Jefferson's.
they're
the
ready
real
to
deal.
ascend into contender status yet, but I like that coach, man. I like that Pittman and
They were dark
Sam
horse
Pittman, and Arkansas is making some ripples, in my opinion.
bunch. Yeah.
they
You can't
come out
sleep on them
beat you.
anymore.
Yeah,
got
I
an
can't sleep
interesting-
on Arky anymore.
We've got an interesting one for y'all. Probably a bold take, but watch out and circle on the bottom of y'all's the thing right here, the schedule. A&M versus App State. App State scored 62 points last week and lost to North Carolina 64-62.
I think somebody scored 40 points in the fourth quarter of that game. Didn't App
Yeah.
State hang 40 in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter of that game?
I think so.
That's insane. That is insane.
So App State can put up that. put up numbers just in case they need to. So Texas gets up, they'll be fine. But if they don't, let them hang around. Watch out.
Man, no chance A&M loses that game at home, right?
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger
I don't know.
things have happened.
That quarterback likes to throw picks too. Haynes King.
Haynes King. Haynes. What happened to Big Lefty from LSU? He wasn't good enough to beat out Undies?
I think he would be starting right now if he had stayed at LSU.
God. That LSU
That's-
quarterback looked terrible. Now, maybe he can rebound against Southern this weekend at home. Maybe he can rebound, but we'll see.
I picked Southern to score the least amount of points this week in our games, by the way, in our little group thing. So
I think I picked Texas to score the least. I don't remember who I picked to score the least. It wasn't Texas, even though I wanted to, just to be funny.
I think it was
Just to be funny. But Arkansas, South Carolina, Bama, Texas, Pitt, Arkansas, Case, Kentucky, Florida. I think Florida's favored in that game, aren't they?
they are.
I would have thought
4.5, I think, was the line I saw.
I believe it.
No,
AR's pretty good. AR's pretty good. I'll give them that.
I was gonna say,
Man, I
kinda
think
surprised me.
I
He'll win
picked
some
Kentucky
games
in
this
that
year.
game.
Yeah, I'm going for
I'd probably take Kentucky too. but-
Yeah.
Where
I
did
got
the game's
Kentucky.
at Kentucky?
No, it's in the swamp.
So
I'm
that's
gonna go with
probably
Florida.
maybe.
I'm gonna go Florida.
Yeah, I thought about that, but Kentucky's supposed to be something this year, so I rolled with the.
They struggled last week. That was the issue.
Big
Their
Blue.
offensive line last week
Yeah.
for Kentucky struggled big.
They're
time.
missing their offensive line coach, who now resides in Tuscaloosa.
That's right.
Georgia's got Samford. Crimies. They'll hang another fitty burger on
I don't know, boys.
another scrub.
Stetson Bennett, next Joe Burrow. Heard it here first.
I'm trying to look here. I don't see Georgia play another ranked team
Until
until
the SEC
Florida.
championship game.
Florida, maybe.
Sounds like every other year.
Good God
Yeah.
Almighty!
Auburn might be ranked by the time they play them. They may. I think Auburn's gonna. Let's see. They'll beat Mercer. They'll beat San Jose State. Ooh, Penn State.
At Penn State, right?
No, that's in Jordan Hare. They might legitimately be 4-0 when the LSU comes to town.
It could
Their
be.
first loss might not be till at Georgia, so I think they'll be ranked by the time Georgia plays them. I think Auburn will be the first ranked team that Georgia plays.
They have a
Because let's see,
gauntlet.
Missouri, they're gonna. I mean, they don't play Jack till they play at Auburn, and I don't think they're gonna win at Auburn. So Missouri's not gonna be ranked. So Georgia's not gonna worry about that. Kent State, South Carolina. So yeah,
Liberty.
I think their first ranked
Arkansas
opponent's going to be
Liberty.
Auburn in that game on the 8th. I'm actually going to the LSU Tennessee game in Baton Rouge that Saturday.
Oh, really?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a bucket list.
So I'll be watching the Bama game, and then the ending of it I'll be watching on my phone in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge.
What time we play A&M? 2:30.
I guarantee you CBS is going to take that game. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way CBS doesn't take that game that day, right?
You'd think, but
So that'll be a 2:30 game, which means Tennessee LSU I think will probably be the 6:30 ESPN game, unless
Yeah.
Tennessee and LSU are both crap, and then it might be like the 8 o'clock ESPN2 game. I'd really like it to be the 11 o'clock SEC Network game, so it'll be wrapping up about the time the Bama game kicks off, and we can get back over to his house and watch the Bama game. But we'll see.
yep.
May not work out that way, but yeah. I mean, Ole Miss didn't have a good game, tough game till Kentucky. Who knows? Ole Miss has an off week before they play us too, so Ole Miss scares me.
We'll
It
see.
should scare everyone, I think.
So
With that offense,
good.
yes.
It's good to have football season back. Like, it's so good to have football season back. I'm so happy football season's back in the mix. Just sitting here watching this NFL game, just instantly in a good mood. Knowing that Bama football is on Saturday makes the weeks even better. So, just even SEC football in general. It's fun watching college football all day. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
It is. Don't even have to worry about making plans on the weekend.
Yeah.
Just grab some food, grab some beer,
Yeah,
sit on the couch.
sit on the couch.
Let 'em need.
That's why I hadn't been to a game in person in like 5 years. Because I'm just too lazy. I'm like, I just like my couch too much.
Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong
I'm like,
with
this
that.
couch sure looks nice. My own bathroom.
I love going to the games, but I'm gonna be honest. I actually kind of prefer watching them at home too.
Yeah.
It's just
Was that
Are you back in Are you back in Pennsylvania?
nah. I'm in Nashville.
He's in Nash Vegas.
Nashville. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nashville, Florida, and then 2 Gumptown cats.
That's right.
Sorry to irritate everybody.
Jackpot.
Just the best place.
Well, no.
Well, guys, this was fun, man. Can't wait till we do this again for next week. I appreciate the guys from AWS Podcast coming and hanging out on the show. We're going to do this pretty much every week for Bama football, and just to hang out and just to talk and break it down and kind of get our thoughts and whatnot and just spit it. So appreciate you guys coming on. Until next week, gentlemen, take care. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.